Hey guys, guess what? I just got home, I had a dinner thing, and my friend was 13 minutes late. You know how it is when you're really hungry and your friend's late and you can't start ordering? So I called my friend and I was like, hey bud, please, I'm hungry. I said it 3 times. Hey bud, please, I'm hungry. Hey bud, please, I'm hungry. And then finally he arrived. But before he arrived, I remembered by saying, bud, please, I'm hungry, that I need to film episode 3. So I'm going to go upstairs right now and film episode 3. But before I see you later, I want you guys to remember, when your friend is late, you can always say, Bada, please, I'm hungry.
This episode is presented to you by National Taiwan Normal University, Common Core Education Committee, Foreign Language Education Division.
Na 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 na, hey yeah yeah yeah. Na 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 na, hey yeah yeah yeah. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Around the World on 8 Plates. Today we are going to visit a new country. We are going to explore this new country. We're going to learn about the culture of this new country. And most important of all, we are going to learn how to cook the cuisine of this country. Aren't you excited about this? After cooking, I am going to interview a special guest. This person has known me for 5 years. We used to work together and he is from this country. Now, which country is it? The clue is right behind me. If you look at these 2 paintings, what kind of art is it? It's African art. Unfortunately, we are not going to Africa. Nope, we are not going to Africa. In fact, we are going to stay in Europe. In episode 2, I featured the country of the United Kingdom. Today, we need to go down south, we need to go east, and we will find this country. So which country in Europe is it? Well, if we look at the paintings again, well, these paintings have 3 predominant colors. There's red, there's green, and there's white. So this country has 3 colors on its flag: red, white, and green. So guess which country? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I bet most of you will say
Italy.
Unfortunately, that's not the country. In fact, there are 2 other countries with these colored flags in Europe. Before we go to the next clue, let me apologize to you for wearing a cap today. I had a bad hair day today. Ooh, bad hair day. Hair starts with an H. Yep, this country starts with an H as well. The name starts with an H. Europe. Red, green, and white flag. What country could this be? Oh, I know. It must be
Bud, please, I'm hungry. Or Budapest, Hungary.
That's right. We are going to Hungary today, and we're going to learn how to cook Hungarian cuisine today. We're going to learn how to cook a special dish called Chicken Paprikash. Are you ready? Ready or not? Without further ado, let's start cooking.
To better understand how to cook chicken paprikash, let us quickly learn more about Hungary. Here is a postcard showing us the flag, some basic information, and the location of Hungary on a map. Finally, continue reading to find out why Hungary is called Hungary.
Okay, now for the list of ingredients. First, you will need some bay leaves, some cumin seed, some hot paprika, and some paprika powder. And then let's go to the protein. For the protein, you'll need chicken. Make sure that there's bone in the chicken to give it extra flavor. And if you want less chicken, you don't have to put as much. But today we're going to put a lot of chicken. Next, you're going to need some flour, some sour cream, and 2 eggs. Next, let's go to the vegetables. So what vegetables do we need? First, we will need some chopped onions. So 1 onion, chop it into small pieces. So that is the size of the onion that you will need. You will also need some cherry tomatoes. And you'll need 1 bell pepper cut into strips and some garlic. If you don't like the taste of garlic, you don't need to chop them into small pieces. So the first thing you need to do is to slice some tomatoes in half. Today, we are going to use cherry tomatoes. So if you notice, these tomatoes look like cherries, right? Alright, in a pan, put in some oil. Make sure it's hot. When it is really hot, you can put in the chicken. What are we doing right now? We are searing, S-E-A-R. To sear means to cook meat using high heat, really high heat, so that the outer part of the meat is brown. So imagine cooking steak, that's searing. So how much chicken do we need for today? Well, it depends on how many people are eating. Today, 5 people are eating this dish, so we decided to buy 18 pieces of chicken. Again, it depends on how many people are eating. So make sure it is brown, and then you can turn the chicken over. In another pot, cook onions until translucent and add some salt. When the onion turns translucent, you add the chicken to the pot. So make sure that the chicken is also brown on the outside. And don't forget to add the juice from the chicken. And now it's time for you to stir everything together and get ready for the next step. Ooh, I can smell it. It smells good. Okay, you turn down the heat because now you have to add the paprika. How much paprika powder do you need to add? Well, you need to add around 3 to 5 tablespoons or 1/5 of the container. So that's a lot of paprika. It's really important that the paprika covers the chicken, okay? Because that's what's going to give the chicken flavor and also taste. The next thing is you're going to add the smoked paprika powder. You don't need a lot, just a little, maybe half a teaspoon of it, and then you add it to the mixture. So now you have the 2 kinds of paprika powder, smoked and unsmoked. So this is the time when you start stirring everything, and then when you do that, you will see that the paprika starts sticking to the chicken, right? So that is the color you want for the dish. That is really important because that's going to brighten up the dish and make it look like chicken paprikash. Can you smell it? Well, I wish you could smell it because it smells good from here. So after cooking on low heat for a few minutes, this is what it's going to look like. That means it's ready for the water. Okay, so the next step is pour in the water. So how much water do you need? Well, it's hard to measure, but one way of measuring how much water you need is to make sure that it covers the chicken. So I don't think that's enough, so I think we will need a little bit more water. Let's see, yeah, I think that's about right. And then the next thing is the garlic. So here comes the garlic. Again, if you don't want the taste to be too garlicky, you don't chop the garlic. Now in come the tomatoes. Yum, yum, yum. It's like painting, right? Now it's red. The next step is we are going to put in the bell peppers. So please make sure to use green bell peppers. So now turn the heat to medium heat. Now it's on medium heat. Now once you've done that, it is time for you to add some spices. What spices do you need? The first spice that you need is something that we call cumin seeds or cumin. So cumin is available in any supermarket. So here is a cumin. How much cumin do you need? I would say 1 or 2 teaspoons. Remember, cumin has a really strong flavor because you use it to make curry and other kinds of dishes. So just sprinkle some cumin seeds into the pot, like so. I would say we can add a little bit more. Yeah, okay. So if you want to find out if it's okay, then you can taste the broth once it boils, okay? So the next thing we're going to add is bay leaves. So these are the bay leaves. Again, they are available in any supermarket. Just go to the aisle that says spices, and you will find them. Alright, so now it's time to mix everything together, like so. Now look at the colors. What do the colors remind you of? The answer will be revealed later. So next, you cover the pot, and then from medium heat, you turn it down to low heat. After a few minutes, remove the lid or the cover, and you will be amazed by the colors you see. Again, what do the colors remind you of? In another bowl, add some flour. How much flour do you need? I would say around 4 to 5 teaspoons of flour. So that's around 4 teaspoons. That's about right, of flour, okay? Now, you will add the sour cream. Again, sour cream is available if you go to Costco. How much sour cream? I would say 4 to 5 tablespoons. So that's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, that's the 3rd tablespoon. Here comes tablespoon number 4. And why not add a little bit more? Go. So after you put in the sour cream, you take a whisk. That's a whisk, and then you whisk everything together, or you mix everything together. The whisk will come like this. Now you're mixing everything together, and you will find that it is kind of difficult to mix everything together or to whisk everything together because the flour makes everything thick. But I have a trick. But before I tell you the trick, you need to check on the chicken. If it is boiling, then it is good. Make sure it is soft and tender. Now going back to the bowl, you need to add some water. I would say 3, 4, 5 teaspoons of water. And that is my secret, or that is my trick, that is my tip to make the mixture less thick. Now you will notice that it is easier to whisk or to mix. Now check the pot again. Look at the chicken, see if it's tender, and make sure that your heat is turned down low. So here's secret number 2. You spoon in some of the stock or soup from the chicken paprikash into the bowl with the flour mixture. Make sure that the stock or the soup has already boiled before doing that, okay? And now you're going to whisk or mix everything together, and look at how the mixture is getting thinner and thinner. So some of it is brown, some of it is white, and then you mix everything, and then later you'll see that it will be white again, okay? So now you have to do something very, very important. You need to check the temperature and make sure that it is not boiling. So if it boils, don't put the flour mixture in. Wait for it to cool down. Okay, now that it is cool enough and not boiling, it's time to pour in the flour mixture. So you put everything in like this or like so. And then you have to do it quickly so that the flour doesn't curdle or harden. Okay, so now we're going to mix everything together. Do it slowly but quickly at the same time. Do it carefully but quickly, okay? So you need to find the right balance. Make sure you have some boiling water and then turn it off. And then the next thing you do is prepare 1/4 cup of water. 1/4 cup of water. And you also need 2 eggs. That's 1, 2. And finally, you will also need 200 grams of flour. Okay, so 200 grams of flour, 2 eggs, and 1/4 cup of water. Now you pour the flour into the bowl. Don't pour everything in yet.
just a little bit of flour first, and then if you need more, you can add more. Okay, the next thing you do is you crack the egg. That's the first egg. And let's prepare the second egg. Let's see. Now you use the spatula to mix everything together slowly. So you will see that the egg is slowly being mixed into the flour mixture, right? The flour mixture right now is kind of dry, and because of that, you will need to add some water. There is no exact science as to how much flour and water you need, but as long as the dough is not too smooth, that will be okay. Now, what you need is a colander or a strainer or anything with holes you can find in your kitchen. And you will need a spatula. Make sure you have boiling water. And now you pour the mixture onto the strainer or colander with holes. Remember, the dough does not have to be too soft. Like so. And then you just use the strainer and press onto the dough so that the dough falls into the boiling water slowly. Make sure you do this until all the dough has dropped into the boiling water. Now, if you don't have a strainer at home, you can always buy ready-made pasta. Okay, so what we have just made is called gnocchi, G-N-O-C-C-H-I. It's a kind of Italian dumpling usually made with potatoes. But today we didn't use any potatoes. Now this is what they look like after you remove the strainer or the colander. You don't have to boil them for a long time. Just mix them for maybe a few seconds and then wait till they're cooked. And then you're done and cover it with a lid. So now it's time to pour out the boiling water. So make sure there's running cold water because you don't want the bowls in the sink to break, and in case you burn yourself, you have cold running water right away. Always be careful. So now that the gnocchi has been prepared, you can serve it in a bowl. So just take out a spoon or any contraption and put some gnocchi in a bowl. Again, if you don't have gnocchi, you can use ready-made pasta. You may also serve gnocchi on a plate, and on top of the gnocchi, you put some chicken. Again, make sure the chicken is soft and tender before serving. And then you drizzle or you slowly put some sauce on top. And that is your chicken paprikash. For those who like rice, you can also put it on top of rice. Before serving it to whoever is lucky enough to eat it, you can put some more sour cream on top and some more paprika. Another way to present it is to put the sauce first, and then on top of the sauce you have the gnocchi, and then you put the chicken on top. After that, you can sprinkle it with some more paprika and garnish it with some more sour cream. And here you go, it's chicken paprikash. Remember I asked you why we used green bell peppers? Well, if you look at the colors, it's green, red, and white. All three colors of the Hungarian flag.
So today we have our special guest, Mr. Gurgly Farkas, and thank you again for helping us out with the dish. I do have some questions about the dish that we just cooked. Is it common in Hungary?
Yes, very much. You can have it on a weekday, you can have it as a Sunday lunch, Sunday dinner. It's very delicious, easy to cook, and it brings the family together.
So what do you think of the dish that we cooked today?
Do you think it had enough flavor?
I think for my taste, I would put a little bit more salt in it.
Okay.
But for Taiwanese, it's just nice.
And what do you usually eat chicken paprikash with?
Actually, we would like to have a little bit of green, just like our flag, red, white, and green. So we had already red with the paprika and white with the sour cream. And if we had some lettuce on the side, it would be brilliant.
And do you guys drink wine with it?
Oh, definitely. But not if we are driving.
And what kind of wine?
I recommend a dry Hungarian white wine.
So white wine with chicken.
Will go together very well. Yes.
Okay, for my next question, could you tell us something about Hungary that most people don't know about? Maybe 2 or 3 things that most people don't know about.
Maybe you know, but I'm very proud of. For example, vitamin C was discovered by a Hungarian. Albert Szent-Györgyi found isolated vitamin C from a piece of paprika. The second thing I would like to mention is the famous Rubik's Cube. I wonder if you knew that was from Hungary too. And if it's about inventions, let's say, have you ever played Teqball?
No.
Teqball.
What's that?
You can Google it. It's a ball game. It looks like as if it was a ping pong table, of course, with a certain degree, and they play football on this table. Teqball. The second thing I would like to talk about is Hungarian musical education. I wonder if you knew the very famous Kodály method. You can
What's
Google
that?
it too.
Yeah.
It is a way how to teach children in a simple way using your hands and your vocal cords to teach music. The basics of music, and later on all the theory and practice. It's all included and it's fantastic. And the third thing I would like to talk about is hot springs. Wherever you go in Hungary, or especially in the capital, Budapest, if you go any parts of it, you will find hot springs, hot springs, hot springs, hot springs. Is it very famous? Yes. Is it beautiful? Yes. Is it great? Amazing. Don't forget, if you go to Budapest, go to hot springs.
We're talking about hot springs now, and it's funny how we're on Yamingsan right now.
Yeah, easy
Right?
to forget. No, easy to remember.
Okay, and what about like more recent discoveries or inventions?
Well, there is a very famous Hungarian woman working in the United States of America. Her name is Katalin Karikó, and she's one of the top researchers who developed mRNA technology, which helped the world developing, for example, the vaccines against the coronavirus.
Oh, that's so interesting. So she has really contributed a lot.
A lot.
Thank you so much for participating in this project. And I have one last question. How do you say chicken paprikash with gnocchi is delicious in Hungarian?
Chicken Paprikash. Nokedlivel nagyon finom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting.
If you're a visual learner, and in case you need it, here is a written recipe for chicken paprikash. Feel free to share in the comments how yours turned out. Maybe your chicken paprikash was even better than what we prepared. I know during this pandemic, it's difficult and dangerous to travel abroad. Fortunately, we can taste a bit of Hungary right in the comfort of our own home. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to get weekly video recipes. Anyway, enough talking. Here is a written recipe. Okay, are you ready for today's TOEIC practice? Ready or not, today we're going to do reading. Directions. In this part, you will read a selection of texts such as magazine and newspaper articles, letters, and advertisements. Each text is followed by several questions. Select the best answer for each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. Numbers 1 to 5. Finally, here's the answer key with explanation. There is also some bonus content after the answer key and explanation. Okay, it's language focus time. So the question is, other than paprika, what are some of the more popular spices being used around the world? And before I answer this question, I would like to thank Vector Stock. So without further ado, here are the answers. Fennel is a spice that is slightly sweet and pairs well with basil and oregano. You can add fennel to roast pork, chicken, and fish. Sesame. The best way to describe sesame is that it has a nutty flavor and an earthy flavor. It is made into sesame oil, which is commonly used in Chinese and Korean cuisine. Next, cloves. Cloves are grown mostly in Indonesia and are used to spice up curries, give meats flavor, and can be used even in baking. Coriander. These seeds of the cilantro plant are earthy, tart, or slightly sour with a floral aroma or smell. The smell can be stronger when toasted. Next, we have caraway. Caraway seeds are earthy with a hint of citrus flavor. Citrus refers to a family of fruit which includes oranges, lemons, limes, and grapefruit. Caraway is usually used in baking. Star anise. With 8 points, star anise definitely looks like a star. Indeed, it is a star in Chinese cooking, especially when it comes to making tea, roasting duck, and other meats. The next spice we have is cumin. This spice is very popular in Middle Eastern, Latin American, North African, and Indian cuisines. It's usually added to chili, barbecue sauce, baked beans, and soups. Yum! Next, we have black pepper. Who does not know anything about this partner of salt? However, did you know that because of its low moisture or water content, it can be stored for a long time without losing its flavor? Next one is dill. It comes from a plant that has leaves that look like feathers, and it is usually used in salads, egg dishes, and in pickles. Pickles are any vegetables stored in salt and water for a long time. Next one, we have cardamom. In Indian cuisine, cardamom is used to prepare basmati rice. On the other hand, in Middle Eastern cuisine, it is used to flavor desserts. And then, in Turkey, it is even added to tea. Next one, mustard. Imagine eating a hot dog and you see that yellow sauce. Well, that is mustard. It has a strong pungent flavor, meaning it comes with some heat. Some types of mustard make the heat stay on the tongue, while others, such as wasabi, allows the heat to travel up your nose. Next one, we have cinnamon. Love it or hate it, cinnamon, which is the main ingredient for the now oh so popular cinnamon rolls, is one of the hip desserts nowadays. Other than desserts, cinnamon is also used in Middle Eastern, Greek, Indian, and Mexican kitchens. Next, we have saffron. Well, two words describe the spice. Expensive, because you will have to pay 10 to 13 US dollars per gram. Subtle, because the taste is not very strong. You need to train your tongue to be able to detect or pick up the taste of saffron. It is usually used to give flavor and color to dishes like paella, a rice dish in Spanish cuisine, and risotto milanese, the way people in Milan cook risotto, another Italian rice dish. Finally, we have vanilla. We have all heard about vanilla ice cream, but did you know that when we use vanilla, it is important to add salt? This brings out the flavor of the vanilla if it is used in making a dessert.